You're listening to Improv-ing Business on Web Talk Radio, where personal and business finance take a front row seat. I'm Brandon.
Hello, this is Rick.
And today we'll be talking about how to distinguish yourself from the crowd while crowdfunding. Crowdsourcing, or crowdfunding, opened a lot of new doors for small businesses and business owners. This is because for years, designers, engineers, and innovators have thought to themselves, I have this great idea, but I don't have a way to get anyone to pay for it.
So many times when new clients come to us for a business plan, especially, the one thing they ask for is, well, where can I go get money?
Yeah.
That's a good question. But, crowdsourcing and crowdfunding really helped a lot from these new companies to get something off the ground.
And it's not only new companies that are taking advantage of this. There's a lot of established companies that are looking to branch out or do a new innovation and are using crowdsourcing within their established business plan. Today we'll be looking at crowdfunding and how to utilize it for your business or as an innovator. But unlike some other podcasts that have dealt with this, we're going to be looking at it from a strategic point of view. So a sort of longer business plan point of view.
The story that we'll use today, the main story, is not going to be about a successful crowdsourcer or crowdfunder, which I'm sure you've heard a lot of those stories. Yes, we'll talk about people like that, some examples that we have, people I know, things I've read about. But what we're going to be talking about is a different way of looking at this. We're actually going to talk about a startup that was in the 1970s before crowdfunding and crowdsourcing took place, and how it would have changed if crowdfunding was around in the 1970s. This story is about two guys, Robert and Milton. Now, they were friends, and Robert was actually this super cool inventor. He was like a mechanic kind of guy, and he saw that there was a real problem there in the 1970s with cars with spoked hubcaps. Have you ever seen spoked hubcaps?
Oh yeah, like on a buggy, cart and buggy. You drove those in the 1970s, right? Everyone
right.
was Amish back
Till my horse died, right?
Exactly.
The spokes are like what you have in your bicycle tires, bicycle wheels. In my day, we used to put playing cards.
Don't they still use them on Cadillacs? Isn't that one of the
Yeah, they do. In fact, in the 1970s, that's what was happening. There were these spoked hubcaps. They were just hubcaps. They weren't the wheels, okay? And so they were just hubcaps that went on these expensive vehicles like Cadillacs, and they looked really cool. But there was one problem with them. You wouldn't guess what it was.
They fell off?
Well, they didn't fall off. They were taken off.
Oh, okay, yeah.
People were stealing them left and right because they were very valuable. They're, one of those extras when you buy a car, you click, check the boxes about, you want the sporty model, or, they put these different things.
Yeah, like radios are nowadays.
Right. So all these different things that you want in a car. So back in the 70s, these were really new things, these hubcaps that had the spokes on them. And people really liked them a lot, and they were buying them, and they were putting them on these nice cars, and then they were being stolen. So then the people would take their cars back to the dealers, and the insurance company would pay for new hubcaps. Well, Robert came up with this really interesting idea, and it was a kit, because he saw that there was a need out there. And his vision was, what if I could create a tool that could attach these hubcaps to the wheel, and you can't take them off? So what he did is he created this kind of drill that you would drill through the hubcap into the wheel or rim. I forget what it was, which one it was. And then you would screw in this type of lock that you can't get out without a special tool.
Interesting.
So in order to get that hubcap off, you would have to basically ruin it. So it'd be useless.
They have similar things for car stereos nowadays, where if you pull them out without a certain tool, they get completely ruined and they're useless.
Right. Or maybe the clothes when you go to the
Oh,
source.
yeah, the die packs.
I know. So what obviously went through Robert's mind is, I'm going to be rich.
Yeah, that's the first thing.
I mean, just look at how many hubcaps are made in all these different kind of cars every year. And so if he has this little tool, which was pretty inexpensive, then he could prevent it from happening. But what Robert didn't have was enough money to really promote this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So he made this tool, and it worked really well. And he went to the dealers and he said, hey, he said, look at this tool. I'm going to prevent these hubcaps from being stolen, which you could just guess that they're just like doing handsprings, right? Just
Yeah,
really
exactly.
No. Because what happens is when they're stolen, they get to sell more hubcaps.
Oh, yeah. They wouldn't care.
They didn't care.